Conversations and stupendous. JT and Low. Yeah. Conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with JT and Low. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. Yeah. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with JT and Low. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. Yeah. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. Yeah. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with JT and Low.
Hey, yo, what's happening, people? Man, this is a little late, but we still getting things going. The weather's a little crazy, but it is time for Classic Conversations with JT and Lo.
And Ask a Cop, that just translates to Ask a Cop was here on time and nobody else was. But go ahead.
He said nobody else.
Right. Yeah, you were here.
Thank
Two
you.
of us were here.
Actually, I was here also, sir, but we Anyway, to my immediate right is my man Angelo Sykes, Mr. Sit Down at Uptown himself. All the way over there, Mr. Yeah, I got here on time for the first time in 78 days.
Damn.
Also, Mr. AKA Ask a Cop himself. How you gentlemen doing, man? Y'all all right?
Outstanding, man. Outstanding. Life is good. Life is good.
Yeah, I can't complain at all, man. Just real quick shout out before I get to UTs. I just want to just say, Asa got an invitation to Harvard in the mail today. Yeah. Like, wow, man. So just super proud of that kid is all I can say. Is that Harvard has sent Asa a letter to, so that was pretty cool.
Bro.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got a shout out. I'm doing this early because I'll forget later. Supreme Uncle birthday coming up this week. So early happy birthday to Supreme Uncle.
Happy birthday.
My cousin Dorithas is taking over command. She's a lieutenant colonel. She got promoted. Y'all remember last year I talked about it, went to the thing. But she's about to take over command, I think at Langley Air Force Base. So super proud of her. So I got my notes off, y'all. So cause they told me before I left, number one fan sent over the gifts for y'all.
Yes.
Number one fan, it was delicious. I've already started on.
Dwayne said it's already over on his bowl.
I'm holding mine.
Dwayne said it's already done, number one fan. He ain't play around.
Number one, I appreciate it. I'm holding on to mine to when I get at home. I have it sitting in the back. So glad that you put my name on it to make sure that nobody else,
Because I'd had
Plus,
that.
Angelo also put it over here to make sure that, it wasn't, in the community part of the table. Appreciate you again. So looking forward to that later on. And because I was actually thinking about what I was going to cook when I got in after this. But, yeah, you're going to have me cheating on this diet tonight.
Already.
Yes, that is a fact. That is a
And for
fact.
those that didn't know and do know, prayers, I thank you for it. Y'all, man, my mom had to go in the hospital, emergencies this past weekend. She has pneumonia. So we spent better part of the weekend in the emergency room. But she's doing better. She got released Saturday. So we're real happy about that. No, Sunday. She got released Sunday. Yeah, she got released Sunday afternoon. But so that was a whole scary time. Because y'all know how this boy feel about that mama. So yeah.
Hey, man, I can't imagine that. I've gotten one call like that in my lifetime where my mom actually had a car accident. And I've gotten a call like that once. And I actually, and this is what I say about certain people shouldn't be bosses. And this was a cat that I hung out with, a cat that I broke bread with, a cat that I actually babysat his child. He actually wanted to write me up, wanted to fire me because he wasn't in the office and I left a message that I had to leave.
Is that right?
After I got the phone call about my mom.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Friendship ain't been the same since, of course. But, I can't imagine. When we was talking about it on Sunday, you said once they asked you, your name and then your mother.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
My heart dropped.
Classic Conversation.
When they asked you, is this Captain Brady's son? Hey, man, my heart just like, you know what I mean? Oh, man. So, yeah, that was a scary time. But thank God she's doing better. She'll have to get this into doctor's orders. We're going to stay on. But I appreciate everybody's heart's prayers. You were missing yesterday, man. Last week. There you go. Hey, you get a chance, tell Calvin I'm trying to break off the missed last week, man. Tell what's going on.
conversations.
Hey, listen, Classic Konversation with JT.
You never know which way the rhetoric is going. Classic Conversations with JT and Low.
And
You never know
I'm one
which
of
way.
them cats that actually is one of the dudes that's actually reaching out usually and has a lending ear for other people. And I can honestly say that last week was a really, really rough time for me. I had, being who I am, smiling, doing what I do, still going to do what I got to do on acting things and, hosting things and, promoting things and all of that type of deal. But deep down, I've been struggling. I'll be being honest with you. Still not out of the struggle, just being transparent, still not out of the struggle. But I actually took my own advice and I actually took a break and actually took a couple of days to do some things to reset myself so that I can look at things differently and try and find a solution to some of the things that I was dealing with and also build up my faith. I had been praying, but the problem was I didn't have the faith because I would pray for it and I kept praying for it and I kept praying for it. That shows your faith is not as strong because once you pray for it once and God hears it, you have the faith that he's going to do what's supposed to be done and you have to follow that path. So I had to step back and take a moment. And even when I take a moment, I'm still giving of myself. As I was taking a moment, I still logged into the show to make sure that people could hear what I was trying to say at that moment. Want to give a shout out to a friend of the show, Ron Godfrey. Ron Godfrey reached out to me out of the blue and asked me how things was going. And I did what I usually do. Hey, brother, everything is going pretty cool. Life is lifing. And I'm not going to complain because not many people listen anyway. Well, he actually heard me, and he actually reached back out to me with a video that actually got me through some things. So shout out to Ron Godfrey for that, brother. Appreciate you for sure. And I'm here for you whenever you need me. And with that, I want to say, people, please make sure that you're checking in on the person that's always checking in on you. Check in on the person that always seems to have a smile because everybody can't smile all the time. And I'm one of those people. I smile all the time, but I promise you, just like I was smiling on Lake Lanier this past weekend, but in the inside, I was I was shaking like crazy. So
as you should have been.
So yeah, that's what I want to make sure that people know, man. Make sure that you reach out to the people that's always there for other people. Yeah, so that's what it was, homie. A lot better right now. Again, still struggling through it, getting through it. Life be lifing, but I'm gonna keep walking, and I got that faith on it. So now let's keep it moving.
Yeah, man, no doubt about it. And he's supposed to come up here and met with me the other day too. He forgot. But we'll let the life be lifing.
I owe the show some meals, so y'all hold on to that. I do owe the show meals.
Oh boy, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, I knew it was coming, so I've said that one of my things of resetting myself is cooking, and I did start cooking, but I got the show. I promise you, I got y'all. Got you. Couldn't do it today, but I got you.
That's what's up, brother.
Bro.
Good stuff, man. Unc say you still mad. We say happy early birthday to you. Unc. What you mad at? Hope it ain't at me. I know we're supposed to be doing.
Let me check my messenger. Make sure he ain't asked me to say something or do something.
Well, I know he's challenged everyone to involve themselves in a protest of some sort, and he's challenged everybody in our side and the whole Georgia crew.
I've been on a lot of protests.
And everybody has participated, and basically all the females have now participated, but he's saying all the males have not.
I participated in every protest in the last 30 years in a lot.
Yeah, that wasn't voluntary.
But I was there.
If that counts, then I've had me already a couple of under my belt too. If that's what we use as the.
All right, Unc, I just saw your messages. I'm gonna make sure to get to him and respond to him. Yeah, he sent me some stuff too. So
Okay.
probably mad at me. My bad, Unc. I'll make sure to jump on that for you. Promise you. Promise you. Well,
So what we got, Teasy? Let's dive in, man. I know we got a lot to go over.
yeah, so for all our sports fans out there, y'all know what time of the year it is. It's July. So that means it's free agency time for the NBA. So there's some talking points that we're going to use in regards to the NBA contracts, money, flipping teams, and all of that stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about, because the NBA is a business, but you also feel that certain teams should be loyal to certain players. So in regards to business versus loyalty, you being a business owner yourself, how does that lay into, in your case, giving raises? Same thing with the NBA. Let's say with what just happened with Dame Lillard. The man had a season-ending injury last year. Still has $133 million left on his contract. But his team, his present team or his former team, the Bucks, actually cut him so that they can have money to sign someone else. So some people say that the business side of it was a smart move for the Bucks, Milwaukee. But from the loyalty side of it, because now, if I haven't looked at the players' bargaining agreement, but if you're cut, I don't know if the team that you was cut from actually has to pay for your rehabilitation and your medical expenses.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they do. Okay.
If you got hurt playing the game.
Okay, so in regards to that, the business side for Milwaukee was basically, we can't have you next year, so we're gonna cut you so that we can sign somebody else. But from the loyalty side of it, do you think that they should have actually kept him from a loyal standpoint of it and just, waited for him to come back?
So here's the reality. I mean, it's hard to compare this with the regular business simply because
The money?
the money for sure, but the money's already guaranteed. They ain't gonna get every coin, so you can't there's no feeling sorry like, oh, poor Dame. Dame's not gonna miss not one dime of that money, so they still owe him. So, and he has the opportunity to rehab, and he has the opportunity to
choose his own team.
You know what I mean? So really, I think they did Dame a favor, and the reality of it is Milwaukee is basing everything on how do we keep Giannis happy. Dame was just a plug-in piece. Giannis is the franchise. So they did this just to say, hey, if we release him, we can bring in some more pieces. And if Dame wants to come back in a year, after the rehab, hey, I'm sure he has an opportunity to go back there.
2 years.
2 years to be completely healthy.
Yeah, 2 years before he can sign back with them.
Yeah.
Because of the way he was released.
Because it was released? Okay,
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I still think at the end of the day, it don't hurt Dame none. It don't hurt Dame none.
What do you think, Ascot?
I echo what Lo just said. It's but it's a business. I think people live in this imaginary world, but when NIL came out, it took any semblance of amateurism out the door. It doesn't exist anymore. And I think the players need to make their best move while they can, while they're hot. Like the boy from Indiana. He tore his Achilles heel trying to be Superman for the team. But the reality of it is, what happens if that Achilles heel doesn't heal correctly? What are they going to do? They're going to do what they got to do, cut him. So I think players need to think, and I'm not saying he shouldn't have did what he did. I'm just giving an example of how they'll part ways with a player. So somebody's stupid enough to say, well, they're the first team to draft you. The only reason they kept Shaq or any of the ones that were that good is because they were doing what they needed to do. Let Shaq had turned into a 1% free throw shooter, but he could only make 2 rebounds and 10 points. Shaq would have been cut. The great ones do whatever they want, and anybody else knows exactly what they are, a cannon fodder. Let the number one player on the team not like you. What happens? Look at L.A.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel that Dame was done a favor In this case, it just feels like Dame was done a favor, and I think a lot of people that's looking at it, say people in Milwaukee, maybe some in Milwaukee may feel that way. Some followers of Dame may feel that way, but I think the business aspect of it comes first.
Always.
As a business owner, I think the business aspect of it comes first in regards to, choosing your business over a single person type of deal in regards to loyalty.
You'd have to be a generational talent for them to.
No, it doesn't. That don't matter. Where did Jordan in his
Let
career?
Larry Bird come back.
Where did Jordan in his career? Where did Peyton Manning in his career? Where did Tom Brady in his career? You can go on and on.
I think
there is no loyalty, bro.
I think the players learn later in their careers that there is no loyalty. LeBron learned it early. I think most of the players learned it later in their career. They were loyal because, let's face it, you got most of these kids coming out of certain situations. They look at this team as the team that gave them the opportunity to change their life and their children's lives and their grandchildren's lives, but not realizing that actually you're changing their lives too. I saw it, I think it was Perkins, Big Perk, was talking about it. He said, for players these days, I would never tell a player to take less money to win a championship when you could probably get more money to create generational wealth. You can't be loyal to something that's not loyal to you. So in regards to that, do you think that that's possible, that you can be loyal to something that's not loyal to you?
We don't look.
Does loyalty go both ways?
Hey, man.
I know that's tricky.
No, I tell you what, bro. It's one of my biggest weaknesses in business. You know what I mean? It's one of my, from a personal standpoint, it is. I acknowledge it. I have been loyal to people who have zero loyalty to me. Zero. You know what I mean? And sometimes, you it's just frustrating, man. You know what I mean? It's just people, you learn people, man, you're only as good as what you can do for them. You know what I mean? And when you can't, it is definitely my greatest flaw, especially
it's
in
not
business.
a flaw, it's a flaw in them. Karma is a motherfucker.
Let me ask you this in regards to you said it from that standpoint. Can you be loyal? You've already said that you can be loyal to a fault from a business standpoint of it. But from the other side of it, say somebody like me that's not a business owner, but usually is committing to someone, some production, something. Can you be loyal to a fault?
Oh yeah. In a relationship, you can be loyal to a fault.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If it's not being reciprocated in business or in personal life, and the person isn't, it's got to the point where they take you for granted, then you better take your last years and enjoy them versus holding on. The same thing with a business. You stand in until the business crash, or if they decide they no longer, AI comes around and phases you out, or they get the next young hot thing and knock you out of there. It's business other than your kids, I think.
Yeah, I think you can be, like for your example, I think it's a matter of like loyal to a fault in terms of your worth. You know what I mean? You may accept a job or something for less than what you really feel like you are worth because of who you may be associated with. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I think you can be too. Just depends on every scenario.
So this is gonna be the last thing on loyalty. How do you break something off? You're loyal to someone, but you recognize that they can only take you here, or they can only do this for you, this much. When do you break it off? Recognizing that, and you don't want to break it off in the sense of your enemies, but you just want to break it off because of the simple fact that you're trying to do something different or do something better. How is that done? How do you think that's done?
Hit them with the bullet points. Hit them with the bullet points. You just break it down to them and let them boom, boom, boom. This is where I saw something was wrong. This is where I came to you. This is where you did X, Y, and Z. This is my reaction. This is where we are now. I just want to let you know because I don't want you to hear innuendo or I don't want you to see a transfer come across your desk. It is what it is.
Okay.
Be direct. Let your nuts drop.
Sounds like a nice email. Bullet points.
But I guess the question, based on how I understood it, though, is you would answer that question to maybe a supervisor or something like that. But what if it was your best friend and he was managing you, or he was, supervising, and can you still make that same breakdown on the bullet points of saying, you know what, you've got me as far as you can get me. Can you have that conversation with him?
I think in that type of situation is if the person hadn't done anything wrong and you just outgrew them. What I would do, because if I'm making that kind of money, what I would do is make a position where he's gonna get paid, but it ain't, he ain't gonna have the first slot because at the end of the day, you owe it to everybody on the team to make that money, not just one portion of it. So you just sit him down, that'd be a one-on-one and just break it down. Says, hey man, this is where we're going. I told you several times we need to go this way. You either decided not to go that way, you stuck by now I gotta move on, but I want you to stay along because you helped get me where I'm at. It's a team, it's all of us. Let him break it down to him.
Interesting.
I mean, that's interesting. I think it's a powerful move that some people have to make. I think, like a Jay-Z had to do that with Dame Dash. When you feel like a person can't get you any further, or they're not going the same direction that you want to go. But I think that's hard.
Yeah, because the thing is if going back to what you were saying in regards to working up under someone, if you have the conversation and you feel that you need to make a move, do you make the move to work up under someone else? Or do you make the move, say in Jay-Z's case, make the move to get out on your own and move forward?
I think that all depends, because, you have to, I think we get to certain levels, you're going to always have people approach you and offer you X, Y, Z, and I think it's a challenge to be able to decipher, which path I should take. And sometimes they're going to say, hey, but you can't take your boy with you though. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to be like, Dad, they offered me this, but I got to leave. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, that's a heck of a challenge, man. You got to have some real, your cojones, baby, because you might really just damage friendships, relationships. There's a lot of stuff you could be damaged right there. That's tough
totally
one.
different, but I think if it's your boy and you sit him down and he sees where you can go, you're going to circle back around and get him. But if you can't put somebody there, and I would say to my boy, I say, hey, man, go ahead and do your thing, man.
What's his thing? Oh, you would say that to your guy to go ahead and move forward.
Yeah, my boy approached me like, hey, look, this is what they offer me. I say,
Okay.
Now I've had to do that with I've had a couple of employees that were offered other things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And my position was just that. It's like, hey man, don't let this hold you back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I appreciate the few that have actually come say, hey man, I got this opportunity. Whoop, whoop. Man, go get that
Instead
jump.
of just leaving,
Yeah, go get that jump. You know what I mean?
Right.
But everybody not gonna take that same stance. But
Can loyalty be, I know I said it was the last one, we're going to keep going. Can loyalty be a drug that you can get addicted to where you I mean, we talk about being loyal to a fault, but you know, I know of personally that some people that are loyal, it's almost, you know, are we saying loyalty to a fault? It's worse because you see what's being done to them. Can it be an addictive thing because of a trauma that you had earlier, because of, you know, someone that actually came into your life? And
I don't think the loyalty is the trauma, but I definitely think that there's a trauma there, like that video we saw with that
Stockholm
female.
syndrome.
Yeah, I think there can be a.
yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like an addiction?
I think that's another kind of trauma, and you know, and that's a blind sense of loyalty. You know what I mean? But you having a whole, you're going through something totally different that needs help, and
So it's not loyalty. It's something.
it's not loyalty.
It's disguised as loyalty.
disguised
but it's
as
actually,
loyalty.
Actually, some type of
A lot of times,
sickness.
just somebody don't want to get out on their own.
There's something else going on.
They like to save security, even if it's a bad relationship or a bad situation. As long as it's keeping them warm, keeping them fed, they happy. They're not gonna bucket. They don't want to take that
Okay.
chance of getting out on their own.
This is bringing up some good stuff. So with that being said, now people, what we talk this video, it was a young lady. This guy asked this young lady why she was with this guy, and what was it? Did she have a bruise on her face? He started beating her.
He said he's been beating her, slept with all her friends.
Yeah.
You know, and she loves him, and she would take him back today if he would take her.
Her friend was sitting there telling her to be quiet. So with that,
Probably to save her from getting hit again.
when do you see someone in a situation, whether it's that, whether it's business, you know, in employment, whatever, when do you see someone in a situation and they keep taking the abuse from bosses, partners, business partners, whatever, they keep taking the abuse? When do you say, because they keep coming to you talking about it, when do you say, listen, if you're not going to do anything about it, I'm tired of talking to you about this. If you don't take a stand, I can't help you. When does that point come?
For me, immediately. I got a cousin, and y'all know him, who I hit his jump from between him and his girl all the time. And I'm like, hey man, I'll tell him, leave her. I'll tell her, leave him. Why y'all together?
Yeah.
If everything is this, you know what I mean? You know, I think it's always.
Some people like disarray. Some people like disarray.
Some people do.
Are comfortable in turmoil because it doesn't. Then they never have to be honest. You never have to let everything come out because you're lying about every damn thing. So you know.
That's interesting in regards to some people are comfortable with disarray or comfortable with just craziness within. Some people just love to have or seem to thrive better in chaos. Or that they feel that they thrive best in chaos, not because they've never been in anything else.
Well, I think that goes back to early family life and everything. If you grew up in a fucked up situation, you saw your mom getting her ass whooped or somebody in your family stealing or robbing or killing, you're more likely to be comfortable in that situation, so you're going to seek that out also. You know, apple doesn't fall too far from the tree in a lot of cases with everything. You know, if you saw turmoil, that's what you gravitated to. Some people are totally repelled by it, but other people are like, hey, it's my normal, so they accept that.
Do you think it's more of an acceptance or something that people actually look for? And not just in relationships, in anything. Do you think it's more of an acceptance if they happen to step into that type of realm, or is it something that they actually look like if they come upon a good situation, they'll sabotage that good situation and end up getting to a bad situation? What we feel is a bad situation.
I don't
but
think
not
it's
in their
that
eyes.
deep. I just think if you're born from shit, you do shit, and nobody ever told you shit wasn't wrong, if you laying down and shit, you're gonna be like, hey, this is not shit. But if some light comes into your life, be it through religion or a person you meet, and they show you this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, that's when you'll come to Jesus moment. You got to say, hey, look, you know, let me change my life and move on. Or you say, you know what? I like this. and some people do. It's like people that's a bad example, but there's different things that people stay in, and then you wonder why'd you stay in that position? Or the patrolman that you know, one of the best cops on the department, but he never tried to go nowhere else. He's comfortable in that.
Right.
The teacher that never tries to be a principal, the assistant coach that never wants to be a head coach.
That's a great way to put it, bro.
And they play it.
And some people are scared of success.
Yeah.
Boy, what you talking
Terrified
about?
of success.
Yeah. Some people are scared of success.
Hey, that's why
They
I
have
tell
all the ability in the world, but they don't want to. You can tell them where to go to get that, and they be like, "Yeah, all right." They're not gonna show up. They might mess around and get selected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And have to. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. Some folks. I know people who are scared of success, who could have the world their oyster, but just never go take that joker.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Look at the great actors that have never been leads. JG, look at that part of it. Great actors that have never been leads and never tried to, but they've gotten, Oscars for this and this and that, but they never wanted that lead role.
I mean, bro, y'all remember Run and Shoot, man? You used to have some folks that Run and Shoot, man. You be like, man, how is that person not playing on another level? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of them just scared of success, man. They might mess around and make it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I'm saying?
You have to really make decisions.
Yeah. People
Learn how to
some
read.
Some people don't want that. They don't want that.
Man, well, now you put it that way. Some of the people we see every Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Some of them kids we see every Sunday just.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's damn, that scared of success thing, bro. So how?
It's a real thing.
So how was that conversation? And I'm talking. We moving now towards friendships and things of that nature. How is that conversation with someone that you see that could be more? How does that conversation go, and when do you recognize that, okay, they're happy with this, let it be?
I mean, how does the conversation go? I mean, it's just, for me, it was just like, hey man, what we doing? You know what I mean? Like, why aren't you doing X, Y, Z? Like I said earlier, they'll just kind of, yeah, man, they'll always act like that's what they want to do. You know what I mean? But they won't go through with it. You know what I mean? Something happened. Something came up. Oh man, I was gonna go, man, but this happened. You know what I mean? Oh man, yeah, I was gonna go to that. You know what I mean? It's like, I got a good close friend of mine, man. I mean, this dude. What I say, that's what I thought about the Run and Shoot, man. This dude was a ball out this world, lefty, shoot the lights out. You know what I mean? But he's more comfortable just being king of the city that he lives in. He enjoys being that guy. Hey, right here, I'm the man.
Damn.
I mess around and go out there, I might just be one of the guys. But right here, I'm the man. And he's comfortable in that position.
Yeah.
But, bruh, the level, that's what I'm saying, scared of success. Now you tell us, man, you scared of success. You finally acknowledge that joke.
But some people are scared.
You know what I mean?
I think some people make it to a certain point in their life
Sorry.
where they got the bills paid, everybody covered, and then they just say, I'm safe. I don't want to risk failure. I don't even want to. So a lot of times I don't think it's fear of success, it's fear of failure.
That too.
And a lot of times,
That too.
where I raised my kids, you can lie to everybody, but there's two people you can't lie to, yourself and God. And so at that point, you got to make those decisions that's going to set best for you. And it's like if you may have, a master's degree in whatever, but if it's not what you can really do, you know what I'm talking about. That guy that got it, but he ain't got it.
Right.
And then you got to switch up. And I've seen people flourish when they do that. And I just think a lot of people lay down and shit and do snow angels instead of getting up because they're afraid of making that move.
Wait, get that analogy again. That's some good stuff, man. Give it again, bro. Lay down and do what now?
These snow angels, man, instead of just
Snow angels and shit.
or the person fall in the shallow end of the pool and just don't stand up. Some people just aren't made for that conflict.
Bro, it's funny. Look, the analogy of your guy Run and Shoot. I just had this conversation with someone yesterday. just had this conversation with someone yesterday in regards to wanting to be the person in Atlanta to where if you walked into Walmart in Stone Mountain and people know who you are, compared to walking into a Walmart in Tuscaloosa, in Houston, in Oklahoma City, and people knowing who you are. Mm-hmm. Just had that conversation with somebody yesterday, and I don't want the person actually opened my eyes up to a lot of stuff, but it you're right, bro. There's some folks that would rather just be the kings and queens of the ATL or the South Side or Cobb County and be just fine with where they are.
Content.
Yeah, and you know what? No fault, doesn't mean that they're wrong for doing that.
Right.
But, because I've always said people need to recognize their weaknesses so that they can actually then acknowledge their strengths. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
We see you, Frank, man. I'm glad you joined the Army and stopped crossing over all them people that run and shoot. He said he got tired of running and shoot. He was just too good out there, man.
You got tired at running shoot? We'll be right back, man. Classic Conversations with JT and Low.
And that's a cop.
Listen, man, I've had iPhone 11 for a long time since iPhone 11 came out.
What?
Yeah, iPhone 11, and I wore it with pride because I was like, I'm not getting a new phone every time one of these things come out.
That's fair.
The whole family got better phones than me, and it's okay. So I'm at Sam's, right, and I'm unloading my cart, and my mom calls me. I put it on the speaker until I get my Bluetooth. You look in the parking lot, it was dry to the left. It was dry to the right. It was dry everywhere you could see. My phone's on the back of the trunk. It fell down in the only freaking puddle in the entire area. And that phone went face first. That joke ain't been back on since, man. It went zoop.
So Lord, I'm gonna just go and tell you something. That iPhone 11 decided it wanted to die. It jumped. It jumped ship.
That is funny.
That iPhone 11 was like this. He can't keep pushing me like this.
Find a studio that matches your podcast vision? Located inside Uptown Comedy Corner, our studio just 5 minutes from Atlanta's airport has everything you need. From high-quality equipment to multi-camera setups for live streaming, we've got it all. With 15 plus years of experience, our team ensures smooth sessions with editing and post-production services at an additional cost. Plus, our competitive pricing make it easy for creators of all levels. Contact us at 404-500-1605.
back, people. We are back. Classic Conversations with JT and Lo.
And that's a call.
So listen, we're gonna move on, man. We're gonna talk about some cultural things, mainly cultural conditioning. You know, we were raised on a struggle. Not everybody, so don't nobody get mad at me, but most of us was raised up on a struggle. You know, we were our plates, as in food, we didn't have a lot of food. We had high sodium. You know, we had high sugar, no options. We had a lot. Everything was cooked in lard. You know, different things back in the day. You know, is it fair to say right now that we're still killing ourselves because of those habits from the way we grew up in regards to cooking, in regards to foods that we eat? Because even if we don't cook it, sometimes we'll still go out and get some fried food or whatever. Do you still think that we're killing ourselves?
I don't think it's that because everybody's aware now what's bad for them. I think it's the false narrative of the humongous ass.
Wait, what?
That's a health issue. It's a health issue because you have a lot of women that aren't designed to their body's not designed to carry that kind of weight. They're not thickalicious. They're skinny. And they get the BDLs. And they overeat to maintain something that's not natural. And that's how we're number one in, pre-diabetes, and diabetes. Because I think it's a false narrative. Everybody knows what they should and shouldn't eat now. So I think it's more so, it's part of our psyche. Rap music backed it up. Baby got back, and it keeps on going to the point where women are cutting their bodies apart and stuffing shit in there to get a big ass.
All right, devil's advocate. Back then, there was no BBLs. There was none of that
you're
stuff.
Right, Frank. He on one.
And there was a whole bunch of just, eating whatever was put in front of you. There were some women that still had some big asses. Now, don't get me wrong, there wasn't BBLs, but they still had them.
The natural big ass is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
people gorge themselves.
Yeah, but in regards to what we're eating now, I was younger, so I wasn't really paying that much attention to it. But it could be because we're older now, we are paying attention. But does it seem that certain sicknesses come about more now than they did back then? And again, it could be because we was younger, we wasn't paying attention, or we didn't know, we wasn't in the conversations. But the different cancers, the different, we always knew about high blood pressure and the sugar. That's what they called it back then.
You got to look at the number of American foods that cannot be sold or consumed anywhere but America. A lot of foods like U.S. beef, hamburger can't be sold in Europe, but it's been sold here for years. And there's a lot of medicines that we consume and food we consume that cannot be sold overseas. It won't go on the shelves. And when you go, like say if you go to Japan, it's a good example, Bangkok, when you look at ingredients, it's like maybe two straight lines across what the ingredients are. And anything you put in your mouth in America, it's like this, the ingredients. And only one of them says the actual food that you're eating, and all the others is dyes and everything else.
So I want to make sure I understand the question, though. Are you asking is the foods we're eating traditionally bad and we're still doing it? Like what I need to understand.
I kind of changed it up a little bit because now we seem to have more sicknesses. And again, maybe we were younger and not in the conversations, but when we were younger, it just didn't seem to be this many illnesses and different sicknesses. Is it something to get people to go to the doctor and use insurance more? Because, cigarettes. Let's use that as an example. I grew up where people were smoking cigarettes every day. In the house, in the car with the windows up, everything. And I don't remember, one, it sticking to you as much. Plus, I don't remember, when did they put the surgeon warning on it? When did they put the surgeon warning on the cigarette box? It was later.
It was definitely later because
Yeah,
cigarettes would be a commercial. It'd be a regular commercial.
I mean, it was. I mean, cigarettes was a thing that a lot of us,
it's supposed to be a cool
black folks, did. It was a cool thing to do. But now, you know, they claim cigarettes is the biggest claim of cancer ever. Mm-hmm. But the people that's catching cancer didn't smoke cigarettes.
No, it's not.
You know, people that catching cancer now don't smoke cigarettes.
Never smoked anything.
Right. So, is it something that's put in the foods now compared to back then?
Oh, absolutely.
I think the medications they're giving, the placebos,
they kill us.
You know, the main thing, I have well water in my house. And if you drink well water compared to regular water, it tastes like two different things. And I've had people try and said, what's wrong with your water? There's nothing wrong with my water. It's the water you're used to drinking. The same thing, if you got to put chlorine in something to purify it, then you put it in your body, but chlorine kills. So if you're taking even diluted chlorine after a while, it's got to have some effect on your body. Petroleum products, petroleum jelly, Vaseline on your body instead of natural oils. It makes a difference.
But back in the day when we used petroleum jelly, it didn't hurt us.
No, back in the day, they just didn't chart it. I think there's a lot more, and I think it's
and we don't know what they're putting. They're adding so much stuff into it. You know what I mean? When you see some of the ingredients, that was amazing about going to Japan, man. When you see
nothing
what's allowed and what's not allowed, and the actual ingredients and some of the stuff, it's amazing. Like a box of cereal that their ingredients, and you compare it to the ingredients of that same box of cereal here, totally different. There's so much more BS they put in the ingredients here. You know what I mean? And that's why you have, when you go to a lot of other countries, they have free health care because they're reducing the amount of stuff that's in them so that you can use their health. They will never do that stuff here because they know their job is to get you sick and to put you in the hospital and to put all these medications. That's why these pharmaceutical companies, man, the money they're making is astronomical. You know what I mean? So absolutely.
Because I know when you go to the DR and you have you go get bread and you have the bread in the room, the bread can't stay in there but like a day or two and it starts getting mold and stuff. Oh, God. Versus you can have a loaf of bread and it may get hard, but it's not going to get mold on it for like a month and a half, 2 months. I think that's a big difference.
Yeah.
It's a very big difference.
Very big difference.
It is hugely different. It is so different. I mean, seriously different. So, that's
but even the food, but the seasonings, man, everything, man. I've been amazed.
Should last 2-3 years.
Like when you go on, you know, we've all had weight loss journey we take, right? And you try to start watching what's in your body, and you could go to a restaurant and thinking you're eating healthy. You know what I mean? But you mess around and be like, dang, that fish put all that calories on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because all the stuff that they're putting in it, man, it's just it be mind-boggling. You know what I mean? So yeah, they killing us off around here.
So the old way that we used to eat.
Frank, you are funny.
The old I don't even want to look. So the old way that we used to eat, even though it seemed now that it wasn't healthy, do you think that was actually more healthy to eat then than it is what we're eating now?
I think a lot of it was because that goes back to what I was saying about the beef and the pork. They have so many steroids and antibiotics to make sure that, because they keep them packed in so close, but they don't get infections. They have the steroids so they'll grow out quicker and be heavier when they go to market. And so that's why I think young girls are getting their periods at like 9 and 10 now. So whereas before it would be later, and that's purely from the steroids getting introduced to their bodies in early ages. So when you look at that, and then you look at the upkick in breast cancer, my sister's a survivor. I have a close friend, Kokatai Bennett, that passed from breast cancer at 33. So that's what I'm saying, that there's so many diseases that they're urgent, it's easy to find, but all these women, even the ones, my sisters, vegetarian, and there's so many people that eat right, do right, and they're still getting it. So it's got to be other outside sources. But if you look at even at water, there's things on the pure water. That's a bottle of water, and it's still got other things behind it.
That's right.
So you got to look at it.
That's
when you
right.
look at cookies, the cookies last forever. But when you travel, DR, Colombia, anywhere outside the country, even a third world country, it's pure. You can taste the difference in the lettuce. You can taste the difference in just about every, damn sure the juice, because it's fresh squeezed. And when you look on a juicer bottle here, it's got 19 other things after juice. And some of them, juice isn't the first thing on there. So what is that telling you?
I mean, and you can take it further to, like, again, when you go to some of them foreign countries, you can go to places, they can have a McDonald's over there, a KFC
Totally
over there.
Totally different.
Totally different taste.
I'm gonna tell you, 'cause
Totally
I'm one
different.
of those people that was like, if I go someplace else, I'm not gonna eat food that I can eat at home.
Sure.
Until I was out one night,
Stuck
nothing
sometimes.
else was open,
Yeah.
and that's what you had to eat.
That's right.
Totally different.
Totally different.
Totally
Kentucky
different.
Fried Chicken,
Hey,
especially.
All
Totally
of it, man.
different
It'd be
taste.
like,
Totally different.
what in the world? We was at when I went to Jamaica a couple of years ago, and they had some kind of was a Popeyes, I think it was a Popeyes, and they were talking about this particular chicken that everybody went over there. They could, they were all hyped about it. You know what I mean? So the tour bus took us to this particular, you know what I mean? So we all, I was like, man, because I'm the same way. I don't want to eat American food here.
Right.
But hey, man, and then when you see some of the ingredients, I mean, it's totally different, man. Total different taste, total different everything.
And the meat, you can tell the color of the meat, the dye it's put into.
Oh,
That
man.
red dye meat is not red, y'all. It's off brown. Once it's killed, it oxidizes. It's got just like kind of off brown, pinkish color to it.
We ate
Can. But-
McDonald's in London. Again, we were stuck. There was nothing else open. Walked to McDonald's mad. Actually, on the way back, we was eating, walking. We turned around and went back because it wasn't the McDonald's from here. It was like, shit, man, I'm going to get me another one of these double cheeseburgers. Boy, these things is different.
Big difference.
I used to love McDonald's fries. That's usually been my favorite fry. But if you taste a McDonald's fry now, it does not taste
Yeah.
the same.
I never thought
It is
that.
not. It's not a fry.
I
I
never-
don't know
just
what it
wanna-
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoestrings.
I never thought that
It's so disappointing.
any restaurant could challenge McDonald's fries.
Would never, bruh.
I would never think that, but
Wendy's
now
got them beat now.
It's not even good. It's like it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing. Who that?
Whoever made that spaghetti, Wayne got.
Oh, you mean the one that nobody else got? I'm familiar with that one too.
Just in case you didn't hear that, number one. Millennial said, you know who makes some good food? Whoever gave that bowl of spaghetti to Dwayne, that's who makes some good food.
What? That was number one fan.
yeah,
Yeah.
that spaghetti
but
good.
one
Hey,
thing
that spaghetti good cold. it's good
Oh,
cold.
man. He said, what?
Number one fan. I did not know that.
I ate it cold, boy. It was on point.
He said, I'll make sure you hear that yell this time.
And I
You heard
think,
that?
yeah. And I think another where that rings true. I think medicine has become big business, and I think they
Think it has
you
become
know,
big business.
Fad diets, things that they can tell you that can help your body, they don't. Natural things. But the biggest thing is, like, once again, when you travel and you go in a pharmacy and you look what's not there, but they have in the United States, and if you ask them, it's like, I think it's something they said about the antihistamines and stuff like that. There's a reasons why they don't put it on the show. And I didn't ask them why, I just took theirs and knocked it out. But, like, it's just, I think that they're making so much. It's like when you find out it's a $25 Tylenol pill, and then you get Tylenol for $8 for a bottle, but then you go to another country and it's like 15 cents or $1.25 for the whole bottle. I think when you put all those three things together, plus the ingredients, it's big business, because what do all the rich people do? They eat healthy, they eat green. They're omnivores, but it's all healthy, homegrown, whatever. So it's like, I just think that we've been set up in America. I think at some point we gotta sit back and just consume what it really is.
So with obesity, being up 40%, do you think that it's more miseducation or the wrong information coming in regards to us eating and, as a whole, not, most of us up here, we figured it out, but as a whole, obesity is up 50%, high blood pressure, I think is up 55%. Is that a lack of education or misinformation?
Both.
I think it's. I don't think it's misinformation because the information's out there. I just think we fail to hear it because we don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Food's such a big part of our culture, and even that's one thing I think that ties in all segments of our culture, from the richest black person to the poorest black person, middle class, upper middle class, criminals, everybody gets together. We all came up with certain comfort foods, and I think there's something that's to be said about sharing good food, and I just think that we hold on to it because we don't have cultures like a lot of other Africa, Ghanaians, Nigerians, Kenyans, Italian. So I think what we do call our own, we hold on to it, and that's why I think we so fiercely will still eat chitlins, even though we know what chitlins. I don't, but chitlins are when they know it's shit. And so that's the thing I think you're going to do.
So do you think that instant access to food, so in other words, laziness, has become our biggest downfall?
Oh, yeah, I think because you just got to look at where the poverty line is. And if you look at the people that still consume McDonald's, and you got to look at where they are. When you go to a checkout line and somebody's got that EBT card, she's not buying lettuce, mixed greens, or something healthy. She's buying
What's affordable?
Sugar, those hot dogs.
What's affordable?
Bread. Well, not saying what's affordable. I'm saying
Yeah, I mean,
it's
if you're gonna try to maximize what you can get off of that card,
Yeah.
you know what areas you got to go to. They make that stuff way cheaper than the other stuff.
Yeah, certain stores.
Yeah.
EBT call be ate up in Publix.
Ate up.
Quick. But
And that's why I
said
said both, because I don't know. When you say misinformation, I think the information is not as it's accessible, but I don't think it's put out there.
People are actually looking for it.
Yeah, they're not getting.
They just taking whatever's given.
Yeah, they're just taking.
I guess too, because they did take home ec out of schools too. So they don't have
100%. 100%
That would
out
have
of
been a good
schools.
forum to.
Wow,
put it
I didn't
out.
think about that. You're right.
Yeah, they don't have home.
That is another way to keep people from learning how to cook. Make them go out and buy this stuff.
Yeah. So many things been taken out of school is a shame.
Can't hear you.
So,
Go on, Mike.
so with the blood pressure and obesity and that type of stuff being up, especially with us as men, why do you think that we are so reluctant to go to the doctor? And I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about as a whole. Most men, and I can only speak of black men, are reluctant to go to the doctor. We have all types of excuses. One of the excuses I use, I'm an athlete. We don't like to find out that we hurt so that we can keep playing. That was an excuse that I used, but
I think the vast majority of us live in conditions where you're already trying to take care of yourself, or if you have a family, you're trying to take care of that, and you have, and I think a lot of people don't have insurance where they're not going to have to pay out. So if you go to an emergency room or you go get checked out and they say, oh, your deductible is going to be $500 or whatever, and if they don't have insurance,
that's right.
I mean, that's a bit, that's a deterrent in itself. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's, I think a lot of us have that mentality.
It's gonna cost me. Yeah. I think that plays a part. Well, I think it also, when you talking about black men, though, again, that stubbornness, that old mentality, just like it is, about anything else. I'm a man. I'm good.
If the whole team good, I'm good.
I don't need to go to no doctor. You know what I mean? You know, remind me of James Evans. He put a chair. Does it look like I got a problem? Is it like this? It's like, hold up a chair. It's like I got high blood pressure. Yes. Yes, it does, sir. You know what I mean? So, but that's how long it's been, though. That was just the man's mentality. And I think it's still out there, man. Just that stubbornness.
When y'all said something about
Vic said, I think we're afraid of the outcome.
There you go. In regards to the medical bills or whatever, you go to college, you get an education, and take on student loans. A lot of people, but you won't go to the doctor and take on a medical bill, which is pretty much a loan. Why do you feel that there's a big difference within that? And I promise you, I have no opinion. I just thought about this when we just said it.
Because I think there's a gain through an education or a trade, but when you're talking about medical, the gain can be you're healed. But I know a lot of people that had back surgery or they have a surgery and they're still dealing with the issue, and it just costs them. You go from being, if they have an emergency room trip, that's $3,500. It just goes up and up and up.
This dude here retarded, man.
So, real quick, do you think we can normalize checkups, healthier eating, and fitness within our culture?
It has to go.
It already has. He's young.
I think it has to go back to this. If you want to do that, man, it has to go back to the school systems. If you want to make it a cultural thing, and they're never going to do that. But a lot of things we were introduced to in school. You're introduced to. Sex education. You're introduced to how to clean your teeth. You're introduced to a whole lot of things we were introduced to growing up that makes you cognizant of it. With all that stuff being gone, I think it's hard, man. I think it's hard because some people are gonna never, if you're in the right certain communities, you're never gonna get that, that direct information like you need it. And to me, I think that's where the problem lies. What are you about to say?
Okay. You
real quick, man. Let me just go to these comments. I'm gonna do these top 5. Frank was a baller once upon a time. I'll go to the gym with this person Lo was talking about and playing until got tired. They couldn't bring the ball up court on me. Then I would hit the lefty assassin. Well, Frank is in a dream world tonight. Cop is on one tonight. He said they still bring their butts here and eat it like it's going out of style. Talking about the foreigners coming here. Yeah, because it's like it's Vegas. This is Vegas for them. You're exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Caught back in the day, fathers would work truly hard. Then the families were farmers and had farms that were healthier. Then fast food came along, instant, etc. So I agreed. I just smoke folks and running shoes. Well, water's the best, but what puts it in the ground? Well water's the best, but cop, look what's put in the ground these days.
Still got a filter on it.
When I was down in South America, the food messed up my body because my body wasn't used to the food. Frank said they have taken fluoride out of the drinking water here in Florida. Time will tell. Robert Kennedy is doing a lot of initiatives at this, removing red food out, et cetera. It's hard to have a true assessment. That's why they're trying to take all these food colorings off the food. Yes, cop, too many young women getting breast cancer before the original baseline date for mammograms. 39, stage 4, something is definitely going on. Number 1 cooks from scratch. Kiki chimed in. Jamaica man. Some of them buying crab legs. Kiki said she ain't going nowhere near Publix with her EBT card. Frank said if Judge Mathis goes to the doc, I'm going too. Well, the judge goes to the doc, sir. Number 1 saying appreciate all the cooking love from y'all. All right, top 5. That was it, right? Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. If I remember correctly, top 5 4th of July traditions. Is that right?
Or memories.
Or memories. Top 5 4th of July traditions and or memories. The lamb is so good in Ireland, straight from the farm. I bet it is good.
So the well water has filters? Well water has filters?
He said it's well water have filter.
Yeah, you have a filter on it.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have to have a filter, but I have a filter on mine where it comes in the house where the drinking water is one right when it comes in, and also one.
I had to say, I drunk well water right out the ground. I didn't think there was a
Well,
filter.
you can. It's good, but like you said, there's things that's pumped in the ground. It's not what.
But this was
you're
back
doing, it's what
back
other
then,
people
so I don't think nothing was in the ground at that time. But it was some good water. Came out cold too. Ooh, boy.
Look at Flint, Michigan. Yeah. Okay, I'll go. 4th of July memories off the top of my head. Louisiana, we always come down Chicago, us from Atlanta, wherever we were in the world. California, everybody used to come to Clinton, Louisiana, and we'd have, 4th of July was a big thing. It was almost like a family reunion. And they cook, playing cards, having bottle rocket fights, where you buy a little pack of bottle rockets and shoot them at each other. Nobody ever lost the eye, go figure. Kids today can't even get to do it, and everybody pitch in, all your uncles, everybody, and they'd have these big fireworks, and we go crazy with it. And then number 2, when I was in the Corps, and we'd all be together, 4th of July would always be a big holiday. And I remember, pitching in and getting, you're in Asia, you can get some for real fireworks, the kind that'll take your whole hand off. And we set it off one day, and I swear it looked like something was our little everywhere, just going up, and then it hit the house, and the house caught on fire. We had to put the hose, so that's a memory.
Catching house on fire is always a great memory.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at least it's a memory.
And then we said some of us were too drunk to get up. But other than that, I say just family, because 4th of July, we all come together and do a barbecue, whoever. Friends, hitting the different barbecues, different, people's houses you go after hours. Mm-hmm. Eat their food. It's good. That's all I got. Family and friends.
All right, then. Guess I rock with it. I would say the first one that I remember is the block parties we used to have in New York back in the day. For those of you that don't know, the block would be blocked off, no cars can come back and forth. DJs, about 3 or 4 different DJs up through the block. Games, barbecue, people on the grill, the whole 9. Then I would have to say it's not the cookout. It's not barbecues, but it's cookouts. Cookouts in North Carolina. You just go around the different neighborhoods, and somebody was going to have something going on, and you just post up, and they really cooking out. I'm talking the whole pig, what they call it, from the rooter to the tutor, all of it, everything, yeah. Chicken, the whole 9, all of it. Then I would have to say one of the recent memories has been the House Heads picnic in the park at Grant Park here in Atlanta.
The what?
House Heads. It's basically a concert.
House Heads.
House Heads. It's basically a whole bunch. I know. I know what you thought. As soon as I said it, I knew it was gonna go there. It looks like House what? House what? It's basically a big concert that they have down at Grant Park. It's free, and they basically ask you for donations. You buy T-shirts or whatever. That's the donations. They have like 7 different DJs come through. They bring the house cats from up north, New Jersey, New York. They come down. Of course, then you have House in the Park later in the year, but that's the Chicago thing. This is more of the up north joint. Then I would have to say we would do, my mom's birthday is on the 5th of July, which we call, like people call the 4th of July, we call it the 5th of July because that was our holiday. And we would do trips with her. Me, my sister, my mom, my nephew.
3 times.
We would fly out to different places and just kick it. We did that for like 6 or 7 years straight, different cities. And the best memory was when we went to Chicago for the 5th of July, the 4th or 5th of July. We did the Taste of Chicago.
Taste is always on, still
and
on.
Then we found out they was having a Motown review. We went to the Motown review, and they actually called your boy on stage. I actually got to go on stage and sing and everything.
You must have been dancing so hard in the audience.
And I actually found out the next day. I actually made the newspaper and everything. This was, tells you how long ago this was. But yeah, I was in the newspaper in Chicago. That was the best memory that I have right now of 4th for me, the 5th of July type of deal. So yeah.
Well, that's cool. Your mom shares the same birthday as the Supreme Uncle. His birthday July 5th. And that's
Wow, that's crazy.
something. And that's something. When you said July 5th, I'm like, wait a minute, that's the Supreme Mom's birthday.
And get this, rest her soul, my wife's mom's birthday was the same day.
Is that right? Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
That was meant to be.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild. All right, number one says American bodies can't digest mineral water. Top Vic, family, cookouts, fireworks, hot summers, and football in the street. Please play Frederick Douglass, What Does 4th of July Mean to Me, Slave? Interesting. I've heard that before. My Aunt Elena said traditions, cookouts, fireworks, going to Loretta's cookouts now for the last 10 years. Family reunions, beach fun. My mom says watching fireworks, cookout, ice cream, family come to visit, hay rides. Oh yeah, Loretta, cookout's the place to go. Number one, celebrate if you choose. I celebrate the 5th, upcoming Supreme Brother birthday. Happy birthday, Unc. Did you hear that, number one? JT's mom birthday, July 5th as well. All right. So, I ain't no big holiday person. Ain't been for a long time. So, but I guess memory-wise,
TK Kirkland at the Uptown Comedy Corner.
no, he not here July 5th weekend, but that been dope. That's Labor Day. I do remember, naturally fireworks. Everybody did fireworks as a kid. Cookouts. Robbie's mom, rest her soul, she used to, that woman could cook. God bless her. Still to this day, the best coleslaw known to man. Known to man. I've never yet to have had a coleslaw, anything close to hers. I mean, ridiculous. And then I would say to her dad, because he was the man on the grill, which is cool, because Alec is trying to take up that tradition. Alec even got the sweat. He can get the towel outside like granddads do. You know what I mean? So that's kind of cool. Watching him out there trying to barbecue. And one of the coolest memories is probably like when at Fort Stewart, they had the plane show.
show,
with the jets. Yeah, the air show. That's probably one of the coolest memories. And of course, for anything dealing with family, I'm all part of. So, there we go. Happy birthday to Mother J, says number one.
Appreciate you, number one. I would tell her I was going to give her some of this spaghetti, but it's not happening. That's gone in the next hour. Just being honest. Comments?
No, it was everybody. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to your mom. Hopefully, maybe soon we'll talk about Tyler Perry, but that's it.
That's what we should have talked about.
Because that's interesting.
Yeah, very, 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 very. 260 million.
Well, we made the top 5 with time left. Well, watch out, boy.
So what y'all think? Where did the number come from? 260 million. That's what he sued.
Just threw it out there. I think 260 million. Chuck's crazy. You know what I mean?
Message?
For you, I've seen some of them, but I don't even.
They
Listen,
don't seem to make sense, dude.
It just how do you go? You was a event. You weren't even an event planner. You worked for the event planning company, and now you want $260 million. When you were getting, do you see how many we were getting $10,000 an episode? He did 84 episodes.
Hey, man.
Man, I'm not buying no man, letting no man rub on your leg.
And the thing
you wait till
is,
the man rubbing on your
look,
leg, and you still work for this man.
And not gonna give him this out. Look,
That what happened.
Not gonna.
He woke up. He said he woke up with Tyler Perry was hunching him, rubbing on his inner leg.
And I'm not gonna give him this
nobody
out.
that drunk.
Just like we say with women. How does this happen? And you go back.
Over and over.
He went back over
and
over again. Yeah, we ain't gonna give him no out. You the same thing, bro. So, yeah.
Period. It's the same scenario, man. I want more money. I threaten you. He said go for it.
10,000 an episode.
Episode. He was getting
And then he said,
10,000.
run it
Then
back.
they gave him a raise of 15,000 episode. And his roles was super small. This guy wasn't even a good actor.
Yeah, we've seen him on the
He
Oval.
wasn't a good actor.
So
He's
he
one of the
was paying for
look,
something, huh?
he's one of the actors that did not make it to another show.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah.
He said try OnlyFans. But this is why he's suing for the 260, because he know talking about Tyler promised him his own show. For what? To be what?
Probably did. I don't promise to.
Yeah, Shula says his butt wasn't worth it. He should have been, yeah. Yeah, man, that's crazy.
All right, man. So that's gonna do it. We actually ended on time tonight. So yeah, classic conversation with JT and Low,
And that's the cop.
and we are out. You dig?
Appreciate y'all.